Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith Phillips, and today we're going to chat about starting an AuthorTube channel. The whole idea of starting a channel and tips and tricks that go into making videos and editing and coming up with video ideas and all of that kind of stuff is super interesting to me. So if you've been thinking about maybe starting a channel here on YouTube and specifically an AuthorTuber account, then I have some thoughts and some suggestions to share with you today. Before we get to that though, I do want to remind you real quick, in the description there is a link to a submission form if you want to participate in an upcoming video. I'm going to be reacting to your writing spaces, and there is a little short form for you to fill out and then send over some pictures of your writing space. So if you want to be a part of that, again, the link and all of the information on that is down below. So let's go ahead and jump into all this because I have a lot I want to cover. I've had my channel here on YouTube since May of 2020, and I have learned a ton in the last year and a half on coming up with ideas, how to film stuff, editing, all of the things. And I really like talking about this kind of behind the scenes stuff. So hopefully this will be either interesting for you if you have no interest in starting a channel. Maybe this will just be interesting to hear about. But otherwise, I hope this is helpful if you're considering getting a channel started in 2022. If you're already an AuthorTuber, I would love to hear your best tips and tricks or suggestions down in the comments. So if you've been around my channel for a while, you might be able to guess the first thing I'm going to tell you, because I frequently ask this question of people when they are considering doing something, and that is why. I think the biggest kindness you can do for yourself is ask yourself, why are you interested in starting a channel on YouTube for writing? Remember, this is you talking to you, so you need to be honest with yourself. If you want a platform to talk about writing, share tips and tricks, interact with other writers, this is a great platform for that. You might feel like you have a lot of experience and you want to use that to motivate and inspire others, which would be amazing. You might hope that you can build up a community here and maybe make a little bit of money off of it. And when I say a little bit of money, I do mean like a little bit of money. I'm going to be real honest with you. If your main motivation for starting an AuthorTube channel is you're hoping that it will generate a nice chunk of income for you, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Most AuthorTubers that I see are not making enough money on their YouTube channel to be able to have that as like a full-time job, or really even as much of a part-time job. Sometimes at the beginning of the year, AuthorTubers will share how much money they made in the past year, so be looking for some of those videos coming up as we get into 2022. But again, it's still not very much money, even for channels who have tens of thousands of subscribers and have good view counts on their videos. I was just able to monetize my channel at the very beginning of October, which was well after my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. And of course, in the writing community, I think most people would agree the two big months are October and November, because you're in NaNoWriMo season. October, everyone's posting their prep videos, and then in November, everyone's posting their vlogs and inspirational content to hit whatever your word count goal is. The number of views my videos get between October and November is significantly higher than any other time in the year. You can go to my video feed and look at the view count and you'll see exactly that. So my numbers for what I earned between October and November is way higher than it probably will be through the rest of the year. Between those 2 months, I made $170-ish, which is great. I will take that. That will pay a couple of my bills. However, I'm not paying my mortgage on that. I'm not paying my grocery bills on that for the month. That's a nice chunk of change, but it's not like a life-changing chunk of change. You know what I mean? And again, I fully expect that number to be way lower in December and January, because my videos are not going to get as many views as they did in October and November, unless the algorithm gods just decide that my channel needs to take off. Having shared that, again, please don't make money your primary motivator for starting an AuthorTube channel, or really any YouTube channel. It takes a long time for the vast majority of people to build up enough of an audience to make any kind of significant income off of this. And I don't say that to be discouraging, I'm just saying that's realistic. So again, think of why you want to start this channel and really solidify that reason in your mind. The other thing I would try to do before starting a channel is to think of video ideas. Of course, you can't create videos if you don't have any ideas. The more video ideas you have up front, the more easy it will be to stay consistent. Maybe consistency is not important to you and you just want to post a video whenever you feel like it. That's totally fine. You can absolutely do that. However, I do think consistency is one of the things you can do for yourself if you really want to build your channel. Now, maybe that's not your goal. You don't care if your video gets 5 views versus 500 views. But I will tell you, it can be really discouraging if you put a lot of work into a video and it doesn't get the response that you're hoping for. So again, this is about being honest with yourself and then making decisions that is going to align with your reason behind all of this. Most people, when they're ready to start an AuthorTube channel, already have a couple ideas in mind, but you need to have more than a couple. That's only going to be good for a couple weeks at most. There are plenty of places though to get inspiration for other videos. You can check out other people's channels and see what they're doing. Vlogs are super popular right now, so of course you can vlog your writing experience. Several years back, when I started watching AuthorTube videos, a lot of them tended to be, top 5 ways to be inspired, or top 10 things you need to look for when you're editing your manuscript, and videos like those kind of list videos. Those I don't tend to see quite as much anymore. It doesn't mean you can't do those videos. It just means they're maybe not quite as popular as they used to be. There are a lot of topics at that time that really got beaten into the ground. There are a plethora of videos talking about how to write a first draft. Doesn't mean you can't do a video titled How to Write a First Draft, but it's been covered a lot of times. So if you're gonna do a video like that, the best way to approach it is if you have some kind of new idea or new spin on things that will be unique and interesting to people who have been around for a minute. So all I'm saying is it does help to sort of look at trends and what's popular if that's something that's important to you when doing your channel. Also, I do want to note, when I say to look at other people's channels for inspiration, I do mean inspiration. We're not over here trying to copy. Sometimes people make a video, like I made a video earlier this week about my thoughts and opinions on NaNoWriMo. Anyone can do a video like that. It doesn't mean you're copying me. I certainly was not the first person to post a video like that. There's a ton of people who do videos in the writing like X author for a week or those kind of style videos. And of course you can pick any author, and it doesn't matter if somebody else has done a writing like video. You can still use that idea for yourself. If you ever feel uncomfortable, like, ooh, is this copying? I don't want to be accused of copying. You can always put a link to that person's video in the description. You can say in your video, hey, I saw this person doing this video and I wanted to do this similar kind of video. You can do something like that so it doesn't seem like you're directly taking their idea. A great video to start with is the AuthorTube newbie tag. I think almost everyone starts their channel with this tag, and it's great because a lot of people will purposefully go and search this tag and look at the new videos that have been posted so that they can welcome new people to the community and subscribe if they enjoy the video and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great way not only to allow your channel to be found by other people, but it's a great way for you to find other people. Other good video topics might include sharing information about your work in progress, your favorite books, any kind of yearly, quarterly, monthly goals you might have, a tour of your writing space, sharing a writing experiment and the results, your favorite writing resources from around the internet, your favorite AuthorTube or other social media accounts to follow, a day in the life vlog, craft book reviews, or of course the ubiquitous writing tags. Now, maybe you're kind of on the fence over whether this is a good idea for you, whether you're going to have enough time to do all of this work, and you're just not quite sure if you want to start a channel or not. Here's my advice. The best thing you can do is give it a trial run. Go ahead and make a video. Figure out an idea, outline it or write some notes for yourself, film it, edit it, upload it, make a thumbnail, fill in the description and the tags and all the little things there. You can set it to private so that nobody can see it. Go through the entire process of creating a video. After you're finished, reflect on it a little bit and see how you felt. Was it fun? Did you really enjoy it? Was it exciting? Or maybe it was a really frustrating process. Maybe it took a lot of time. Maybe you felt completely exhausted at the end of it. If it was not an enjoyable process, then this maybe isn't the platform for you. You have to really like making videos, editing, and all of the stuff that goes along with it if you're going to make this something that lasts for a while. And especially if you're someone like me who likes to post multiple times a week, you're gonna have to do that whole process twice, or some people even post like 3 times a week. However many times you think you're going to be posting, you got to multiply all that time by however many videos you plan to make. And it takes a lot of time. So again, you got to be honest with yourself. If this really isn't something that you want to do, then choose another platform. So maybe you've gone ahead and done a sample video for yourself. You're really excited about it. You have a ton of ideas. If you still want to pursue a channel at this point, there's a few questions, a few things you need to consider. First of all, how often are you going to post? YouTube loves when you post consistently, and I think frankly, your audience does too. I would hope that at this point, people who have followed me for a little while know I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. I am super consistent with that. And so people will know to expect 2 videos a week from me and that they will appear on Tuesday at 9 a.m. and Friday at 9 a.m. That's been my posting schedule since pretty much the very beginning of my channel, and I've stuck with it. You need to determine when you're going to film videos and where you're going to film videos. I film on the weekends, usually in my office. If you've got family around, you might need to figure out, when are they going to be out of the house, or at least out of your space, so that you can film without a whole lot of background noise. And sometimes figuring out when to film can be a little tricky too. So just think through your typical week and when all of this might fit in best. The other big question to ask yourself is what equipment you're going to use. Obviously, you need some sort of camera. However, you don't need a lot of fancy equipment to start. I'll get to all that in just a second. And finally, how are you going to edit your videos? There are a bunch of different softwares out there that you could potentially use. I'll get to some of that in just a second. So let's talk about equipment. When it comes to video equipment, you really do not need to be super fancy about it. I started my channel by filming on an iPhone 6. An iPhone 6, my friends. It was not great quality, but it gave me a chance to see, do I really like this? Is this something I want to keep doing on a regular basis? And it was fine. Those videos from the first 2 months of my channel being live, are they the best quality? No, but it was fine for what it was. People watched, people subscribed. It was great. Please do not feel like you need to run out and buy some $700 camera and a fancy lighting setup and a fancy microphone and a big tripod. You do not need to do that. There were some times where I would prop my phone up on a pile of books or a trash can, and I would literally use packing tape to angle it the way I wanted. You can improvise with what you've got at home. The 2 best things I think you can do for yourself when thinking about equipment and stuff is to, number 1, think about your lighting, and number 2, think about how your shot looks. Photography, of course, is made up of 2 Greek words, photo, light, and graphy, which is writing. Light writing. If you don't have very much light, you're not going to be able to get a very good image. Natural light is of course best, so if you have a big window in your house somewhere and you can sit right in front of it and let it shine directly onto you, that can be great. If you don't have big windows or the space you have available to film in is kind of dark, collect lamps from around your house. I did that back when I was using my iPhone. I would bring lamps from the living room in here and set them up to light up this space a little more so my shots had more light in them. So what about your actual shot? When I talk about a shot, I'm talking about what you can see within this frame. This right now is a shot that I would normally never use in a video, but I'm using it now to show you why this isn't really that great. So first of all, we've got this right here. This is in the background. It is flowers. It has nothing to do with this video. It's just distracting because it's bright red and it's popping, and instead of looking at me and paying attention to me, you could possibly be looking at this and trying to figure out what is this thing behind her. I don't want you looking at the flowers. I want you looking at me. So look in the background of your shots. Same thing with lights like this. You know, if I was positioned a little different and I was chatting like this, I've got a light sticking up out of my head. That doesn't look great. I would want to move all that kind of stuff. You can also see a little bit of like my desk, my other day job workstation over there, my calendar, and some other little things on the side. That's distracting. Anything in the background that really doesn't need to be there is just distracting for a viewer. This kind of a shot is a little bit better. I still don't love it because I've got a frame coming out of the top of my head, which is kind of weird. And I've got two really bright lights behind me, directly behind me. I have my camera settings right now so that these are completely blown out. They're just showing as white. They're overexposed completely, even though my face is not overexposed. My face and my clothing look the way I want it to look, but too much white, blown out, overexposed stuff in your shots like this, I don't personally love that. Again, is this the worst shot? No, but I don't love it. Same thing, like I don't like seeing like little portions of stuff sticking into the frame. I have leaves growing out of my shoulder. Don't love it. So just consider what is in the background and how that is positioned in relation to you. One thing I see all the time in people's videos is like an overflowing trash can or their laundry basket, or, you know, just like stuff and clutter, which, you know, is that the biggest problem in the world? Not really. But if you want a nice clean shot, look behind you. Look behind you and ask, is this going to be distracting for somebody? If it is, you know, the simple thing is just to move it. If I didn't like that this frame is coming out of my head, I could just pop back over there, take it off the wall, dump it on the floor for a few minutes while I film, and then I can put it back up later. So think about your shot composition for clean shots. When you are filming your video, you can do more than one take. You do not have to rush through your entire spiel or whatever it is you want to say in one go and have it be perfect. If you flub something or screw up how you wanted to say a certain kind of thought or idea, you can just stop and then start again with a new way of saying it, or, you know, reading off of your notes or whatever it is you need to do. That's where the magic of editing comes in. You can just cut out that awkwardly phrased portion and let it continue with the betterly phrased version. Like this, I'm gonna redo this because this sounded stupid the way I said it. I have it much better on my notes, but I don't want to be like reading off my notes, you know what I mean? If you mess up how you want to say something, you can just pause and say it again and edit it out later. Except I didn't edit out the crap one, so you could see how I just kind of like do that. Anyway, does that make sense? That should make sense. Also, a note on first videos. Your first video is going to be awkward. Your second video, it's going to be awkward. Your first multiple videos are going to be super awkward. That's just how it is. It takes time to figure out how you want to present yourself to the camera and to an audience. I have a video specifically about on-camera persona that I did several months back. I'll link to that below. Your on-camera persona is going to evolve over time, and if you go back and watch like my first couple videos, I am a lot different. I don't know. I just present myself differently because I don't know how I want to present myself yet. So it takes time to sort of ease into it and get used to being on camera like this. The other thing I often hear people saying is they hate how their voice sounds and they don't want to have to listen to it back, or, you know, subject other people to having to listen to it in a video. That is something I very much understand. I used to hate my voice. I used to think it was too high-pitched and too annoying and just like, ugh, hated listening to myself on tape or on videos or whatever. And honestly, at this point, I've been talking and editing videos for 1.5 years, and I'm pretty used to how my voice sounds at this point. It doesn't annoy me like it used to, and other people you know, if they find my voice annoying, they probably aren't subscribed anymore. But I still do have a good number of subscribers who hopefully are not super annoyed by my voice. So don't worry too much about that kind of stuff. You're gonna figure it out as you go, and you're gonna get used to how you sound the more you film yourself and the more you edit yourself and listen to yourself. Let's chat about editing. To me, editing is super important. If you have a lot of ums, a lot of pauses in your video, editing removes all that. It makes your video flow more quickly. It makes it more engaging. It makes it less likely that people are going to click away because they're bored. Some people choose not to edit their videos, which is their personal choice. Totally respect that. If you have a Mac, your Mac came with iMovie, which is a fantastic beginner software for editing videos. Highly recommend checking that out. I started using it and used it all through the beginning first year of having my channel. I didn't know how to use it prior to starting my YouTube channel, but I watched a 15-minute video on how to use iMovie and I was good to go. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. There's some really cool things you can do with it, some like advanced features and stuff like that, but the basic editing of a video within iMovie is really doable. If you have a PC, there are some free programs that you can use on a PC, but since I don't have a PC, I'm not super familiar with those. So if you have a PC and you edit, can you drop in the comments and let us know what you use or what you would recommend for PC users? At this point, I did go ahead and upgrade to Final Cut Pro at the beginning of 2021, and I really love it. I like the different options you're able to do in there, but there are AuthorTubers who've been around for years and they're still using iMovie because that works really well. You really don't need to upgrade to Final Cut Pro unless you're really into the editing, which I really enjoy. One of the other important features of a video is the thumbnail. If you watch any kind of video on, making YouTube videos, one of the most important things is the thumbnail. If you have a dark, confusing thumbnail with little teeny text on it that no one can read, most people aren't going to click on it because they have no idea what your video is about. Making engaging thumbnails is super important. I hate making thumbnails, they're the worst, but Canva makes it a lot easier. This is not sponsored. I realized that little segue just sounded like I was like, and now for our sponsor, Canva, but it's not. I promise. I love Canva. I've used them now since pretty much the beginning of my channel. There's a free version and a paid version. I do use the paid version. To me, the price was very worth it for how much I use it, but the free version is very expansive. So I would highly recommend going over there, clicking around, kind of figuring out how it works and seeing what you can do with it just on the free side before you try to pay for anything. Don't pay for anything up front. Use the free stuff first, and when you feel like you're ready to grow beyond that, then you might want to consider upgrading to the pro. But again, there are a ton of options within just the free site there. When you finally get to the point where you are posting your very first video, it is super nerve-wracking. I was so nervous posting my first video. I was nervous I was gonna get either like 0 views or no comments or just like a negative response, and this community is thankfully so warm and welcoming. I got a ton of support in the comments on my very first video, got a decent number of views when I first posted it, and it was a really nice way to make my way into the AuthorTube space. Do try not to have super high expectations. Most people are not going to gain 1,000 subscribers after 2 videos. It's going to take a while, but that can also be really nice because, like I said, those first several videos you make are probably going to be really awkward. They're going to be a little weird sounding because you're not used to being on camera. Thankfully, not too many people are probably going to watch those videos. So having low view counts and low subscriber counts initially is actually a really nice thing because it allows you to figure out kind of who you are on camera and how you want to do YouTube essentially. So don't pay too much attention to the numbers side of things. Just make videos and try to improve with each one. One thing I will note about the AuthorTube community that I think is important to keep in mind is that this is a very small niche. This is not like the gaming community or tech related communities that are huge. If you look up Nintendo related game accounts, you will find that a ton of them have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. A bunch of them even have in the millions of subscribers. I don't think there's a writing channel that has 1 million subscribers. If you know of one, let me know. I feel like most people I follow have a couple thousand. There's a couple channels I follow that have like tens of thousands. There's maybe like a handful, a very tiny handful that have over 100,000 subscribers. And those channels worked really hard for multiple years to get to that kind of number. Take a look at the subscriber count for other YouTubers that you enjoy watching. I follow a ton of people who have been super consistent in posting videos over a year or 2 years or even longer, and they have less than 1,000 subscribers. And I think that points to what we talked about at the beginning. Their reason why is not because they're looking at that subscriber number all the time. They're focused on creating good writing content for the people who are interested. They're interested in sharing their progress and encouraging other writers. They're really not in it for the views or the numbers or the money. So again, keep your expectations reasonable for what is expected and usual within this niche, and make sure you really are honest with yourself when you're asking that question of why, because you don't want to set yourself up for some sort of major disappointment. AuthorTube is really fun. It's full of a lot of encouraging people. There is always room for new people to join. That's something I see come up time and time again. Is AuthorTube dying? It is not dying. It's fine. You can still join. There's still time. There's still time to join. You can start making videos tomorrow or today if you like, and post them and get involved in the community. It is a lot of work. I will say that. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoy it, and I plan to continue enjoying it for the foreseeable future. I hope this helped any potential new AuthorTubers out there. If you have any other questions related to creating videos, editing, AuthorTube, YouTube in general, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer if I can, or if you're an AuthorTuber and you see a question and you have an answer for it, go ahead and reply back to that person. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and you can head over to my website, meredithphillips.com, to sign up for my newsletter. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. One thing I will note about the AuthorTube community One thing I will note about the AuthorTube community